students, I, Mrs. Madhvi Matre, welcome you all in the next lecture of Mathematics 1. We are studying chapter number 2, that is quadratic equations. In that we have completed all these topics: quadratic equation introduction, then we have seen the methods of solving quadratic equations, then the nature of roots of quadratic equations, relation between the roots and coefficients. This particular topic is not there for the examination, and we were solving practice set 2.5 in the previous lecture. Now let us move towards in practice set 2.5. So see, we have completed up to question number 4 in the last lecture. Question number 5 and 6 are cancelled. You know that 25% syllabus is reduced because of COVID-19 pandemic. So under that, this question number 5 and 6, which are based on relationship between the roots and the coefficient of a quadratic equation, are cancelled. So take a note of this. Now let us move towards the last question of this exercise, that is question number 7. Question number 7. The roots of each of the following quadratic equations are real and equal. Find k. Here two sub-questions are given, and you will find that in place of numbers or in place of coefficients, the unknown letter k is given in both the questions. Okay. Now see, since we are provided with the roots of the equation are real and equal, we have to recall the concept of nature of roots. You know that nature of the root is determined by discriminant delta, that is b square minus 4ac. So here we have to find out delta first, and then we have to compare the delta. You know that there are three possibilities. First possibility, if delta is positive, the roots are real and unequal. If delta is negative, then the no real roots. And if delta is 0, then the roots are real and equal. So from this condition, we can understand that value of delta is 0 here. And since now we want to find delta, we need values of a, b and c. So the given equation we have to compare with the standard form. Okay. So first of all, write down the question. Then see whether the question or the equation is in standard form or what. That is ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So here what we can observe, the equation is in standard form. So to write the values of a, b and c, immediately we have to compare it with the standard form. Okay, so write down comparing the above equation or comparing the given equation with standard form, that is ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Or you can write down the variable from the question also as it is taken here, that is ay square plus by plus c is equal to 0. And then we get values of a, b, c as a is equal to 3, the coefficient of the first term here. Then b is equal to k and c is equal to 12. Okay. So afterwards, let us use the given condition and write the value of delta. Okay. So write down that delta is equal to b square minus 4ac. So put the values. B square means k square minus 4 into value of a is 3 and value of c is 12. So in this way we got value of delta as k square minus 144. Afterwards, make use of the condition that the equation has real and equal roots, or the roots of the equation are real and equal. So delta must be 0. So if delta is equal to 0, then the value of this k square minus 144 is equal to 0. Now here you have to factorize it. Either you can use the formula a square minus b square here, and you can factorize in the form of a plus b, a minus b, that is k plus 12 and k minus 12. Or here as it is done, this 144 is shifted to right hand side, and then value of k is taken as plus or minus 12. Don't forget to take plus or minus 12 if we are shifting it like this. So better always to go for factorization. You can use that factorization. So the factors will be k plus 12 and k minus 12, and then we are going for either or. That is either k plus 12 is 0 or k minus 12 is 0. So here we are getting two values of k. Now here you have to observe that where k is present. Here k is present in the place of b. So here both the values will do. But if k is present here in place of a, then we need to check, because for quadratic equation we have a condition that a cannot be 0. For the equation ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, a cannot be 0. So if it is present in the first place, then you need to check. So here, since k appears here in place of b, both the values will do. So this is your final answer. So such question, it can appear for 2 marks or it can appear for 3 marks also. Okay, so I hope you must have understood it and you must have copied it in your notebook. Now, let's go further. Finally, you can write down the answer like this, that k is equal to plus 12 or k is equal to minus 12. Or if you stop here, then also it will do. Now, question number 2. Kx inside the bracket x minus 2 plus 6 is equal to 0. As I have said, we have to observe the equation. It should be in the standard form. But what we can observe here is the equation is not in standard form. So we have to convert it to the standard form. So here we have to go for expansion of this bracket. So you have to expand this bracket and you will get the answer like this. See, kx into x is kx square. Then kx into minus 2 is minus 2kx plus 6 is equal to 0. Now you can observe that the equation is in standard form, that is ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. And this question is little bit different because k is present in two places. Value of a is also k and value of b is minus 2k. So k is present here in two places. So now let us start. You know that after converting to standard form, immediately we need to compare it. So write down that. Comparing with ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, we get a is equal to k here, b is equal to minus 2k. Don't forget to write minus sign, it is very important. And c is equal to plus 6. Now after this, since we know that the equation has real and equal roots and delta is equal to 0, we need to find out delta, that is b square minus 4ac. So find out that. So b square means minus 2k the whole square. Now see here you have minus sign, then here you have two different, means one is coefficient and other is constant. So write them in bracket. If you are not putting the bracket here, then the meaning is going to change. Then it will represent only k square. Here minus 2k the whole square is there. So you need to write down minus 2k in bracket always. Then minus 4 into value of a is k again and value of c is 6. So in this way value of delta is equal to 4k square minus 24k. See, in hurry you are removing 4 from here. That means you are dividing by 4 everywhere. Here you cannot divide. If you want, you can take out common. That take out 4k common and inside the bracket you can write down k minus 6. But then you cannot write down k minus 6 is equal to 0. Why? Because here 0 is not present. Still we have only found out value of delta. The condition is not written. So at this stage you don't be in hurry to take out common or don't be in hurry to cancel anything. Okay. After this you are going to write down the condition that the roots are real and equal. So delta must be 0. And therefore we can write down that this 4k square minus 24k is equal to 0. Now at this stage you can take out 4k as common and inside you will get k minus 6. So the two factors are ready with us. That one factor is 4k and other factor is k minus 6. So either you can divide both the sides by 4, but you cannot divide both the sides by 4k because k is constant here. We don't know what is k. So you can divide either by 4 or directly you can write down 4k is equal to 0 or k minus 6 is equal to 0. So anyway it will do. So if 4k is equal to 0, then k is equal to 0 divided by 4, that is k is equal to 0, or k minus 6 is equal to 0, that will give us k is equal to 6. So here again we got two values, but we cannot stop here. As I have said, k is present here in the place of a, and our condition is what? For quadratic equation a cannot 0. So here value of k, if we take 0 here, then a is going to become 0. So it is contradictory to our condition. Okay. So here we cannot take k as 0 because a cannot be 0. So you need to specify that. Okay. As a is equal to k, and in quadratic equation a cannot be 0 or a is not equal to 0. Therefore value of k cannot be 0. K is not equal to 0. And therefore here only one value is acceptable, that is k is equal to 6. So in this way you need to write down justification for your answer, that why we are discarding k is equal to 0 and why we are accepting k is equal to 6. So write down that a is equal to k, and for quadratic equation k cannot be k or a cannot be 0 here. K cannot be 0 because a cannot be 0. And therefore the correct answer is k is equal to 6. Okay. So this question can appear for 3 marks. Why? Because here you have some extra conditions and specifications you need to write down. Okay. Now with this we have completed our practice set 2.5. Now we are moving towards the last part of this chapter. And the last part of the chapter is application of quadratic equation. Like we were having application of simultaneous equation in the first chapter, again we have application here, and application means nothing but word problems. How to solve word problems by using quadratic equations. Okay. So here again the framing of the equations is important. Here also you are having different type of questions. The questions are based on money transaction, or they are based on the time, speed and distance. They are based on ages. So different type of questions are there. Geometric formulas we need to use. So here accordingly, here we have to see the question and decide that whether to use the two variables, that means whether the question is from simultaneous equations or whether it is from quadratic equations. That is very much important. If you are guessing it wrong, then you are not going to get the correct answer. So first of all, let us discuss solved examples from the textbook. As I have said, they are equally important. If you find if you see the board paper, previous year's papers, then you will find that from the challenging question number 4, most of the questions are asked from solved examples. Okay. So let us see the first solved example. All of you see in the textbook. This is the first question. There is a rectangular onion storehouse in the farm of Mr. Ratnakar Rao. Okay, it is Ratnakar Rao at Tiusa. The length of rectangular base is more than its breadth by 7 meters and diagonal is more than length by 1 meter. Find length and breadth of storehouse. Okay. So here the picture of storehouse is given. You can observe the picture of the storehouse. Mostly these are rectangular tray-like structure you can see, but they are big in size. Okay, so onions are stored in that. It is given that it is rectangular in shape. So it is very clear that here we have to use the formula for rectangle and we have to use the properties of rectangle. Now what you will find is here you are going to get the conditions, and generally you will have only one condition here. Sometimes you will have two conditions. So that time you have to decide. Now it is possible that you can solve this equation by using simultaneous equations also, but sometimes some questions need only quadratic equations. So here the length is given in the form of breadth, and also diagonal is given, and we have to find length and breadth of the storehouse. So since length is given in the form of breadth, we should start with breadth. Breadth we are going to take as x meters. So our first statement is let breadth of the storehouse be x meter. Why to take breadth as x? Because the length is given in the form of breadth. Okay. So from this now we can write down length. See, length of the rectangular base is more than its breadth by 7 meters. So value of length we can write as x plus 7, because more than breadth by 7, so length is x plus 7, and diagonal is more than length by 1 meter. So length is x plus 7, so diagonal is x plus 7 plus 1. So we can write down both the unknowns here. See, length is x plus 7 meters and diagonals is x plus 7 plus 1, that is x plus 8 meters. Now just bring that rectangle in front of your eye, that you know that every angle of rectangle is 90 degrees, and then length, breadth and the diagonal, it is going to form a right angle triangle. And then we can apply the theorem of Pythagoras here. What is theorem of Pythagoras? Diagonal square is equal to length square plus breadth square. So you can use the Pythagoras theorem and you can write the equation like this, that by Pythagoras theorem, breadth square means x square, length square means x plus 7 the whole square, and diagonal square means x plus 8 the whole square. So this you must know. This is your knowledge which you are applying here. Now let us open these brackets. All of you know the expansion a plus b the whole square, that is a square plus 2ab plus b square. So apply this expansion here and you will get the answer like this. See, x square as it is. Here we are using the formula a square plus 2ab plus b square. So here it is x square. 2 into 7 into x is 14x and 7 square is 49. Similarly here x square, 2 into 8 into x is 16x and 8 square is 64. So we have used the formula twice, the same formula, and we have written the expansion. Afterwards, to convert the equation in standard form, that is ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, we need to shift all the terms on left hand side. And while shifting, you write down the equal terms or like terms together. Okay. So here what we can observe is x square is present on both the sides. So we can cut x square from both the sides. So this x square is written first. Then we have plus 14x. Next to that we have written minus 16x because they are like terms. And then here we have plus 49. And next to that we have written minus 64. And then equal to 0. So now here the equation will become x square minus 2x minus 15 is equal to 0. See, plus 14x minus 16x, the answer is minus 2x. And plus 49 minus 64, the answer is minus 15. Now you will find that this equation is in standard form. And afterwards you have to factorize it. So here you can factorize it by any method, like you know you have factorization method, then you have formula method for the solution of the quadratic equation. But you know that factorization method is easiest by splitting the middle term. If that is applicable, always try to use that. See, what I told you in factorization method, you have to observe the last term that shows us multiplication of two numbers, and here the middle term shows us either addition or subtraction. So you have to observe the last term here. The last term is negative. That means the middle term is showing us the difference. So we have to think of two numbers whose multiplication is 15 and difference is 2. So you know that 5 3s are 15 and 5 minus 3 is 2. So we got the numbers as 5 and 3. Out of that, the bigger number is having negative sign. So to be more specific, we can say that here this minus 2x we can split as minus 5x plus 3x. Okay. So our next step is that, see, this minus 2x is split as minus 5x plus 3x. Why? Because minus 5 into 3 is minus 15 and minus 5 plus 3 is minus 2. The next step, you know, you have to group it and you have to take out common. So here you will find that x is common and inside the bracket you will get x minus 5. Here 3 is common and inside the bracket you will get x minus 5. Okay. So this way you have taken out common. Now in next step you are going to write two different brackets. In one bracket you will write x minus 5 and in other bracket you will write x plus 3. So the factors of this particular polynomial are ready. What are they? X minus 5 and x plus 3. See, x minus 5 and x plus 3. Now the next regular step, after getting these two brackets, we are writing either the first bracket is 0 or the second bracket is 0. So what we can write down is either x minus 5 is equal to 0 and therefore x is equal to 5, or we can write down x plus 3 is equal to 0, that is x is equal to minus 3. So here we got two values of x, one is positive and one is negative. But then you have to check that what x denotes. Like here x denotes the breadth of the rectangle. That means it denotes the distance. And you know that it is never negative. So what we can say is length of any segment or the distance is never negative. Okay, length word is for the length of the segment. Don't think that here why we have used the word breadth for the x, but length is used in general. Length is length of any segment. So length is never negative. That is why x cannot be minus 3. And therefore the acceptable value of x is equal to 5. And from that we can get the length as x plus 7, that is 5 plus 7 equal to 12. So this is breadth and this is length which is asked to us. And then finally you have to write down the answer as statement that therefore the length of base of storehouse is 12 meters and its breadth is 5 meters. Okay. So I hope you must have understood this. There is no need to write this in notebook because the question is already solved in textbook. Now let us go towards next solved example. Again mark it as a important question because this type of questions are favorite of the examiners or paper setters. The question which depends on the formula, that is distance is equal to speed into time. So these questions are important, so mark it as an important question. A train travels 360 kilometers with uniform speed. The speed of the train is increased by 5 kilometers per hour. It takes 48 minutes less to cover the same distance. Find the initial speed of the train. Okay, so here what is to be found, that is given to us. And as I have said, always take help of the last statement to determine what to take as unknown x. So here the initial speed of the train, that we are going to take as x kilometers. Always write down the unit. So we will start with that let the initial speed of the train be x kilometers per hour. The distance is provided to us. Afterwards in second statement they have told that the speed of the train is increased by 5 kilometers per hour. Okay. So here we have to write down the new speed now. So new speed will be x plus 5 kilometers per hour. The initial speed is x kilometers per hour and the new speed or the increased speed is 5 kilometers per hour. Okay. Now we know the distance and we know the speed. So from this we can write down the time taken. Why? Because see here the time is given. 48 minutes is given. Not 45, 48 minutes are given. So we have to use the formula. Time is equal to distance upon speed. And by using the formula we can write down the time taken in both the cases. That means the time taken with the initial speed and time taken with the new speed. So you can write down those two terms here, that time taken to cover the 360 kilometers by the initial speed, that is distance upon speed. This is 360 upon x. So that many hours. Okay. Now with the new speed, the time taken is 360 upon x plus 5 hours. Now see here, the time taken in the new case is less and time taken in the old case is more. So now 48 minutes less means what? When we subtract these two, we are going to get the answer as 48 minutes. But what we can observe here is the speed we have written in the form of kilometers per hour. So these minutes we need to convert into hour. So by using the given condition, we can write down the equation like this. See, the new time, that is 360 upon x plus 5. It is less by 48 minutes than the original time. So see, this is original time 360 upon x and minus 48 minutes are converted to hours. So divided by 60. You know that 60 minutes is equal to 1 hour. So 48 minutes we can write as 48 upon 60 hours. So this is what we have written by using the given condition. Somebody will write that 360 upon x minus 360 upon x plus 5 is equal to 48 upon 60. Then also you are correct. The difference between these two timings is 48 minutes. So you can write it anyway. Now let us get the equation. Let us shift this on the one side. That means like terms we will take on one side and this constant we will keep on the other side. So what we are doing is this 360 upon x plus 5 we are shifting here and 48 upon 60 we are shifting here. Okay. So we can write down the new equation now as 360 upon x minus 360 upon x plus 5 is equal to 48 upon 60. As I told that you can write directly like this also, because you know that difference between these two timings is this much. Now afterwards, see, you can observe we have 360 in the denominator. So you can divide the equation by 360. Everywhere you are dividing by 360, that means 360 is going to come in denominator. So here when you are writing it in denominator, it will get cancelled. Here also it will get cancelled. And here you can see that is reflecting here. So here we got 1 upon x minus 1 upon x plus 5 is equal to 48 upon 60 into 360. Now further you can divide it. Okay. So further you can simplify it like this. You know that 48 and 60 they come in table of 12. 12 4s are 48 and 12 5s are 60. So you can cancel that and you can write it like this. At the same time you will go for cross multiplication here. So x plus 5 into 1 is x plus 5, minus sign in the middle, and x into 1 is x, and in the denominator this multiplication is written. Okay, so both the things you can do simultaneously. Now here, see, this plus x and minus x will get cancelled. Also this 4 you can cancel with 360. So you will get 4 ones are 4 and here you will get 90. At the same time, you can open this bracket as x square plus 5x. So you can write all these things like this. See, plus x and minus x cancelled, so only 5 is left out here. Here this bracket is expanded, and here 4 is cancelled with 360, so we got 1 upon 90. Okay, now let's go further. Here see, 9 5s are 45, so here you will get 450, and 450 into 5 you will get 2250 if we go for the cross multiplication. So in next step we will get it like this. See, the cross multiplication is done. So we got x square plus 5x is equal to 2250. We got the equation, but it is not in standard form. So bring it in standard form. Shift this 2250 towards left hand side, and now the equation is in standard form. That is x square plus 5x minus 2250. Okay, now the next step is to factorize. See, here you have minus sign, so you will think of two numbers such that the multiplication is 2250 and the difference is 5. Okay, so those two factors are 45 and 50. And see, the middle term is having plus sign, therefore the bigger number is positive and the smaller number is negative. So the factors are plus 50 and minus 45. So we can split this plus 5x as plus 50x minus 45x. So x square plus 50x minus 45x minus 2250 is equal to 0. Next step is to group them and taking out common. So here you will find that x is common. So inside the bracket we have x plus 50. And here minus 45 is taken out common. So you have x plus 50 here. In next step we are going to write two brackets. In first bracket we have x plus 50, and in second bracket we have x minus 45. In the next step either or, that means either x plus 50 is equal to 0 or x minus 45 is equal to 0. From this we can write down x is equal to minus 50 or x is equal to 45. But see what x denotes. X denotes the speed which is in kilometers per hour, and speed cannot be negative. Speed is never negative. So you are not going to take this value. You will say that x cannot be minus 50 because speed is never negative, and therefore the value of x is 45, which gives us the initial speed of the train. So the initial speed of the train is 45 kilometers per hour. Okay, now the remaining part we will discuss in next lecture. So students, today I am stopping here. Till that, you stay home, stay safe, take care of yourself. Thank you students.